guys, welcome to Carpe Dime, a podcast about personal finance and everyday life. I'm Dusty Simmons, credit union marketing guru and single mom.
And I'm Jamie Davidson, the king of cash here at Financial Center First Credit Union. We hope you'll spend your commute with us, where we talk a little about life, family finances, and all that fun stuff that we like to talk about and how we can achieve our financial goals.
And today we are talking about where'd my money go?
Where did my money go?
But we know, so stay tuned.
We're going to find out for sure, I can tell you that. So today we're asking that question, where'd my money go? You know, you ever got to that day, that Monday you woke up after the weekend and you're like, where'd all my money go? Or you get to a day or 2 days before your next paycheck comes out and you're like, I don't have any money left over. Does that ever happen to you, Dusty?
It's like Monday morning and I'm, getting ready for all my weekly stuff and I check my bank account and I'm like, uh-oh, what happened?
What did happen?
I don't know,
we don't
Jamie.
know.
That's what we're here to talk about today.
That's the key. We're going to find out where your money went. So many times we think, we know where our money went, what we've spent our money on, but we actually don't. And it's really sitting down, finding out where that money went. So today we're going to talk about a few different things. I call them spending leaks. We're going to talk about those daily or weekly spending leaks, and we're also going to talk about what I would call monthly spending leaks. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So let's talk about leaks. Do you have things that you purchase that you don't think about, that you might buy on a daily basis or a weekly basis that you don't think is a big deal?
Nope, never.
Never. Now I know that Dusty likes Diet Coke. So you never buy a Diet Coke?
Yeah, I buy a Diet Coke every day.
Every day. Downstairs out of the machine?
Sometimes, and
Okay.
sometimes at the restaurant
Sometimes
over
at the
lunch.
restaurant, okay.
It's like my one splurge that I give myself a day of sugar and caffeine.
Your one splurge, okay.
Because I don't, drink coffee, so.
That's true, you don't. Now, talking about coffee, a lot of people do drink coffee, right? Mm-hmm. Right? We've got a coffee machine here that we always see everybody running to. But we also see people that when they come to work, they have this other coffee in their hand from this little place that starts with an S, right?
Right.
And that would be an example of a daily spending leak, that Starbucks run, getting that coffee, whether it's Starbucks or another coffee shop, going out and spending $4 or $5 on a coffee. You don't really think about that. But if you did that every day, if you do go out and you buy coffee every day for $5 a day, 5 days a week, that's $25.
Okay, I'm turning the table. So what's your daily spending leak?
What is my daily spending leak? I don't know if I have a daily one, but I've got some that I let out. Probably entertainment, whether it's going out after work to maybe have a beverage with a friend. Mm-hmm. You think about that. You go to the bar and you have a beer, and it's just a beer at the bar, right? But next thing you know, you've spent $7 or $8. That's a spending leak. It's not in your budget. You need to put it in your budget.
Yeah, but do I need to put it in my budget?
You do need to put it in your budget. That's why you're wondering where your money went, because you didn't actually put it in your budget. So let's talk about that beer money. Nobody wants to put beer in their budget, or wine, in your case, in their budget. But maybe label it something else so you don't feel bad about it, because you're still using the money on it. It's got to be.
What do I call this?
So maybe put it in your entertainment budget, right? Entertainment budget. Your coffee budget is your coffee budget, or it could be your dining out budget, right?
Right.
We don't think about that a lot. Another one, so we've got the daily leak of maybe the Starbucks or the Diet Coke for your part. Another one is dining out, whether it's going out to lunch or it's going out to dinner with friends or family, right? Does that ever happen to you guys at home?
Yeah, because we run from work to practice, and a lot of times, could go home and either make dinner or grab a sandwich, but everybody's hangry, and let's just run through the drive-thru, and I drop $15 on, sandwiches and drinks, and home we go.
Okay, so let's say we do that twice a week.
$30.
So how much? That's $30.
At least
$30 a week, right? So $30 a week, 4 weeks in a month. We're spending $120 on fast food, just for coming home and not cooking dinner. Think about that. That's a lot of money. Multiply that for the year, and you're spending how much money?
A lot.
A lot of money.
I don't want to know.
Yeah, you're spending over $1,200 on that. So it's those daily leaks we don't think about. We don't think about grabbing fast food from whichever place it is, McDonald's or Taco Bell, but it adds up. At our house, it's probably pizza. Oh, I love pizza. I'll eat pizza every day, and if I could order a pizza and eat it every day, I would. I'd probably weigh an extra 30 pounds, which I don't need to do. But we would eat pizza every day in my house. And you don't think about it. Well, if I go get just a pizza for $10, it's not a big deal. But that does add up. If you do that every week, once a week, there's $40. And it adds up. You're spending almost $500 a year just on pizza.
Looking for ways to save on your energy bills? AES Indiana has you covered. From smart thermostats to home energy assessments, we offer simple solutions to keep your home comfortable and your costs down. AES can help you save money and energy with kits, tips, rebates, and more. Visit aesindiana.com/ways to save to to learn more about how we can help you save money. AES Indiana, helping you discover real ways to save.
When is the right time to sell a stock? How do you protect against inflation? Financial decisions can be tricky, and often your own cognitive and emotional biases can lead you astray. Financial Decoder, an original podcast from Charles Schwab, can help. Join host Mark Reeby as he offers practical solutions to help overcome the cognitive and emotional biases that may affect your investing decisions. Listen at schwab.com/financial decoder.
So I guess what I'm hearing you say, Jamie, overall is that if it's not in the budget as a line item or in a category, I need to track it. It's a spending leak.
That's correct. Whether it's $1, $5, $10, because what happens is it all adds up at the end of the month, and that's where your money's going. That's why when you wake up on Monday, you go, where'd my money go? It's those little things adding up because you don't think it's a big deal to go get fast food, and it's not. We work hard for our money. We should be able to go out and do some things that we like to do, but they have to be in the budget. So many things that we don't put in the budget are what show up, and that's where the money went. And that's the key here, is really tracking your money, finding out what leaked.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about your daily or weekly spending leaks, but I know you do a lot of research on what are kind of those monthly spending leaks or things that we wouldn't even maybe consider as spending leaks that we should take a look at.
Yeah, exactly. So I sat down and I did a little research, and I came up with the top 3 monthly leaks that we don't think about a lot of times. They're not in any particular order, but here are those 3. One would be cable or satellite subscriptions. Do you have either one of those, Dusty?
Oh my God, I'm so guilty of this. I've told Jamie this story before, but probably for almost 2 years now, I have been saying that I need to cut cable. My cable bill, I will tell you all this, and I'm extremely embarrassed to say it, but it's over $200 a month for basically basic cable and my internet. But I am terrified because I don't like conflict to make the call and cancel it. Isn't that pathetic?
I'm not going to call you pathetic, but that's a big leak.
Who's with me here?
That's a big leak. That's a big leak that you could really find a way to still have that cable if you wanted to.
Right.
If you made the phone call. So sometimes it is about that. It's about making that phone call, because what happens when you do get cable TV or satellite TV is the price creeps up a little bit every year.
And they're
if you're
hoping you don't notice.
And they're hoping you don't notice. There's another leak. So now I'm spending an extra $20 this month than I did last month, but I don't pay attention to it. And then next year it goes up another $20, so it continues to creep up. So you really need to make sure you're paying attention to that and finding a way to actually either reduce that by making the phone call and asking for a reduction, or number 2, cutting that line, which a lot of people have done nowadays, right? They go out and
I totally want to do it. It's on my resolution list from last time.
It's on your resolution list.
It's on my
Very
resolution
good.
list.
So that's one of those that I really think people don't think about that they need to look at.
So what's another one?
Another one is actually subscription services.
Oh,
so
going right along with TV.
right along with TV. So you had this beautiful thing come out, and it's called Netflix, and everybody loves it, right? And everybody gets on it. And,
Or
it's
the
like,
new one, Disney Plus.
That's exactly what I was going to say. So now we all had Netflix, and we love Netflix, right? And then what comes out? Another one comes out.
Hulu
comes out. So what do? We add Hulu. So now we've got Netflix, we have Hulu, and we're still paying for our cable TV.
Yep.
And then what comes out after that? You got Disney Plus.
And they bundled it with Hulu. Smart people. Smart marketers.
Smart marketers. And a lot of us don't even think about this. Another one is Amazon Prime.
Ooh. Let's talk about a little bit about Amazon Prime, because you've got a really funny story about it.
Yeah, I do. So it's Amazon Prime, and as you know, everybody now has what in their homes that's hooked up to your Amazon account?
Alexa.
Alexa, do this for me. Alexa, do that for me. So a couple years.
Alexa sometimes doesn't listen. That's what I don't like about her.
Alexa's always listening. Don't think she's not. She's always listening. So a few years ago, we got a couple Alexas for the Dots for Christmas from a family member, and we hooked one up, and we're all loving it. And Alexa, play music. Alexa, do this. Alexa, do that. And I was in working on the budget actually in my den, and my 6-year-old son at the time, Finn, comes in and goes, "Dad, I just bought nachos." I go, "How did you buy nachos?" "Alexa, I told Alexa I wanted nachos." And he thought he was really cool and ha ha ha. And I sort of laughed at him and chuckled.
Said, "Yeah, right."
Right, yeah. I don't think they're going to be bringing in nachos. Finn, he's like, "I'm going to get nachos." So, long story short, it was a couple days and I had gone out of town. And I'm out of town, and I get a text from my wife, and there's a picture of this huge, like pink gallon-sized jug of nacho cheese. And with the text, it says, Finn got his nachos. So because we had...
He ordered a 5-gallon bucket of nacho cheese?
He ordered a 5-gallon bucket of nacho cheese. So he got his nachos. It was nacho cheese. It wasn't just nachos. because it was hooked up to our Amazon Prime account, and we told Alexa we want nachos. Alexa found the closest thing to nachos she could find, which was nacho cheese. So let me tell you, we were eating some nacho cheese for a while there in the Davidson household. And it's, when it happened, you were like, how did this happen? But it's really true. You don't think about that. You hook everything up to that credit card account, and next thing you know, the bill comes in and you're like, what happened? That's, once again, why it's so important to look at your bills when they come in and make sure that's something you actually charge, something that you actually purchase, because with fraud out there, you never know. So that's my recommendation.
And
take
Jamie,
take the Amazon card, or take the card off the Amazon Prime account on Alexa.
what happened to Alexa after that?
We don't use Alexa anymore in my household. So we now have 4 streaming services, and for those Apple people, they have the Apple TV. So we've
Right.
got all these subscription services, and those are just for your TV. Not just your TV. Think about the other things out there, like
Oh, like music. Well, I think that's a good point, because when I think subscription services, what I immediately think of is TV, but you found some others.
I did music services. You and I always joke because we use Pandora, Spotify.
Yep.
And I always joke with you, or you always joke with me, and because I use the ads, and you're like, "Why do you use the ads?" And
Oh,
say,
I use the ads too.
You use the ads too? No?
I do,
Okay.
because I'm cheap about that.
Cheap, but it's, but I'll use my daughter's. They don't use the ads. We
Yeah.
use my daughter's Spotify because she pays for the Spotify, and I'm like, "Why do you pay for Spotify?" Well, she doesn't want to listen to ads, and she wants to be able to listen to whatever song she wants to when she wants to. So now my daughter's probably paying for Spotify, Hulu, and all these little things that are adding up, and she
Right.
doesn't think about it. Why? Because it's really simple. How much is it to have one of those services a month? $4, $5, $6?
Well, and they charge your card directly, so you don't even see it. That's the scary part. That's where subscription services can really get you. So
Yeah.
what else other than music and TV?
Music TV. Well, believe it or not, I'm guilty of a spending leak. Just looked at a credit card bill, and my web service where it came to protecting my internet service.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I purchased last year at the intro rate, and then they just charged it to my credit card this year for the new rate. So my rate jumped about $60 on the year.
Oh, my
And
gosh.
because I didn't pay attention, and when I got the credit card bill, I called the credit card company and say, "Hey, I want to dispute this." And they look up my history, and they're like, "Well, no, you actually signed up for this service last year at this time."
That auto
So-
renews kind of thing.
Auto renewed. So yeah, make sure you're paying attention to those things as well. All kinds of things like that. Another one is out there, people get homeowners policies. I mean, they get the policies that are actually not the homeowners insurance, but more of the warranty.
Oh, home warranties.
Home warranties. If you have a
Do
older
they
home,
roll over?
They roll over as well. You have to call them and you have to cancel it. And that's a lot of times we don't realize that. We get it at the introductory price. We're excited. We're happy. And we forget about it, and boom,
And
there
then
it is.
for all you gamers out there, what else?
Gamers, yes. Yeah. So my 7-year-old son, always asking for something, can I get this game or this game? And it's all online now, right? So what happens is you put your credit card on there, and if you don't put a password on there, they can go on and purchase all types of things without you knowing it.
In-app purchases.
In-app purchases, right. The video games nowadays, most of them are online, and you can just purchase a new game right there. You don't have to go to the store anymore and get the hard disk like we used to do.
Right.
Nowadays, it just loads straight down to your account, and it's real simple. Do you want to buy this? Yes. Had a friend, believe it or not, his son was playing one of the famous video games out there, which was one of the most famous ones last year. And the young man actually
Had some dance moves in it,
had some dance moves in it. Yeah, actually charged over $1,000
my
in
God.
purchasing items to play his game. And when his parents got the bill, they were would you be happy? You got an extra $1,000 on your credit card. What are you going to do, right?
Yeah.
So they called the company, and the company said, "Sorry, you put that card on there. You're responsible for it." So, obviously they took the game away, but they still had to pay that $1,000. You really have to look out for those things because they happen, and especially if you're paying auto pay on things, you don't notice it, right?
So, for something like subscription services, we talked about, like, if it's cable or satellite, you call the company, you turn it off, whatever you do. But what would you recommend for things that are subscription services? How do we cut back on that spending leak?
Well, I think what we do is we need to realize that we don't need all the services. We don't need to have multiple TV services. We don't need to have multiple music services. We don't need to have our credit cards attached to our game app services either. You're gonna spend and not even think about it. It just since you're not using cash, you're not pulling out the card to actually use it. It's being automatically charged. So really reduce the number you're using. Really
Or put it in the budget, I guess.
Put it
or
in the
know that
budget.
I'm going to have it, but I'm going to put it in the budget and I'm going to give myself a maximum.
Exactly. And that's funny that you say that because that's really what I'm working on with Finn at home. My 7-year-old he thinks that, Friday's payday. So he thinks he should be able to buy Robux every Friday. That's the game he plays. And I have to explain to him that you don't get that every Friday. And what he'll do is when he does get it, he'll purchase it, and it's gone in an hour. And what does he want Saturday morning when he wakes up? Can I get some more Robux?
Thank goodness I have girls.
So
we don't have this
the
problem.
answer is no, right?
Of course, we've got others. but-
Yeah, you do. I mean, you're
Don't bring
spending
up
this-
shopping. Don't bring it up.
Oh, we're not going to bring up the T word? The
T?
The T word, Target.
Oh,
Do you like
Target?
Target?
Oh, that's just not fair. I love Target.
It's not fair.
Because
Well,
it's a mile from my house.
a mile from your house. Wow. Target, and I use Target, not picking on Target, but a lot of people like to shop at Target. And
Yeah. But you never just go for the one thing at Target that you want.
No, you come out and you've
With
spent $100 at least.
So-
And so if it's okay to go to Target, but
Right.
Target needs to be in your budget.
Gotcha.
Going shopping is, for some people they think it's a hobby. It's probably not the best hobby. And if going shopping on the weekend is your hobby, I can almost guarantee you're out of money. And you are not keeping your budget. I can almost guarantee that.
Right.
And I had one more for the top 3 monthly leaks, and we actually sort of debated on it. So it's 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
I said utilities. And what are your thoughts on utilities?
Well, my question to you was utilities is something that I can't set the pricing for, right? Based on where I live, my gas, my electric, all of that. So I was thinking, how can I say that's a spending leak when it truly is a necessity, and you can give your side of it.
Well, my opinion on that is when it gets cold out, what do a lot of people do? Instead of going and grabbing another sweater or a blanket to put on, they go to that thermostat and they kick that up a few notches. They go from 68 degrees to 72 degrees, and they keep it on there, and they keep it on the whole time. So for the whole time you're out of the house, it's heating the house. Next thing you know, your bill comes in, and you're like, why did it spike an extra $30? Well, it spiked an extra $30 because you turned your thermostat up. The same thing with the water. Water's based on usage. Cut down on the amount of time you're in the shower. Think about that.
Right.
So
it's all about just kind of adjusting your habits or being aware of what you're doing in your home.
Exactly. And
that can affect your utilities.
Exactly. Another example with water is it's not always how much you use that you know of. It's what? Maybe you have a leak in the toilet you don't know. An actual leak, right? So being aware of that and knowing what's happening. So utilities is one of those as well. Mm-hmm. And the other one that we were talking about was insurance.
Yeah, and I think that's a big one because it goes back to kind of like the satellite cable. You have to shop it once in a while.
Right.
Because otherwise it just keeps adding up.
Yeah, most of us have our insurance come out automatically.
Right.
If we have a mortgage, it's escrowed and it's paid, and a new price comes out every year. And I don't know about you, but I just got my insurance for this year coming up, and I sort of glanced at it, and I don't remember what I paid last year unless I go and I look at my budget, right?
Right.
And then my new auto insurance rates for the year come in, and most of us don't take the time to sit down and compare those.
Right.
We just say, okay, it gets paid automatically, it comes out, the bank account for this, it comes out of the escrow for this. Really what we need to do is sit down and look at that and see how much it's gone up each year.
Right.
Because what happens is when you do buy insurance, you get the introductory rates for the first couple of years, 2 or 3 years, and then the prices start to go up. Not just a little bit, but a lot. So sometimes the answer is you need to sit down and compare those and take care of that. It's really funny. We switched insurance companies a few years ago. By switching insurance companies, I saved $800. Usually what will happen is your insurance agent will say, well, it's not the same coverage.
Right.
This is a better company.
It's not apples to
apples.
So you got to be smart about it.
You got to be smart about it. And it's, what's also important is you have that relationship with that insurance person where you can have that real conversation and they're your advocate, right?
Right.
And that hopefully that's what's happening there. So that's some big leaks there. And if you think about it, because we were originally talking about, it's only $10, it's only $5, but start thinking about that. Here's 5 from this, here's 10 from that. Next thing you know, we just realized that we were overspending on our insurance for the year, $800. So next thing you know, once you add all these up and you put this together, you've now found an extra couple thousand, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 in your budget that can go where?
In your savings.
In your
I
savings.
said the right thing.
Yay!
Right. Because, that's what we don't do, right?
Right, we don't. We always say we want to save.
Yeah.
And we go, if there's any
How
money left
can I
over,
do
we're
it?
going to save.
But this is your plan to do it.
Find those little things you're spending your money on. And it's okay to go out and have dinner. It's okay to go to the movie. It just needs to be in the budget. It's okay to go to Target.
Right.
It just needs to be in the budget.
So we're going to go some steps to finding and stopping your leaks, right?
Right.
If this is happening to you and you're not sure where the money's going, you give us the steps to help us, get it under control.
Number one is you need to track where your money's going. Find out where it's going. If it means you make a spending journal, make the spending journal. Keep your receipts. See where your money's going. check your monthly statements. So many of us now have everything on automatic pay. It just comes right out of our bank account. We don't even look at it.
Right.
Make sure you're still looking at your
Go
statements.
look at your
monthly.
transaction history and your mobile banking. Just go check it, once a week. Go see what's happening.
Right.
Or use a PFM I shouldn't say PFM. No one's going to know what that is. Personal financial management tool.
Right.
Right?
Right. Another thing is, a lot of times these are happening in families where we're not communicating.
Oh, that's huge.
Right.
Right? I'm not the problem. You're the problem.
Right. But you're not communicating on where the money's going.
Right.
I didn't know you went out to lunch, or I didn't tell you I went out to lunch, and we're both
Right.
doing this and that. And next thing you know, it adds up. When both of you are going out to lunch
Yeah.
a couple days a week, that adds up.
So when I was married, we used to have that problem, and we actually got separate accounts for that reason. It was like, oh my gosh, I can't control what you're spending, you can't control, but let's just have our own separate money and for those kinds of things.
Right.
And then that way, no one fights over money in that way.
And that's a great answer to that problem. You have your joint account, and then you have your separate accounts for your spending money.
Right.
Right. So it's really about communicating, and it's not always just the other spouse. A lot of times it's the kids too. Like we just said, the kids need to be aware that there's a budget.
Right.
And we just can't go and grab McDonald's on the way home from school every day because we like McDonald's.
Right.
And it's only a couple dollars because that adds up. Another one we have is maybe use that envelope method. So if you're really struggling and you find yourself using your debit card and your credit card all the time, you're still not coming in your budget, maybe you create what's called the envelope method, where you actually use cash. You put it in the envelope. When that money's gone out of that envelope for that specific purpose, you either have to take from another envelope or you quit spending.
Yeah. Well, and if you want to learn more about that specifically, I know that's a big Dave Ramsey thing. So, look that up, the envelope method with Dave Ramsey, and you can get really specific about how that whole program works.
Right, correct. If you're spending on what you love, sometimes you're going to have to cut back. And, we love to reward ourselves by giving things we like. Sometimes it's really about substituting or cutting back or postponing. You don't always have the money in the budget. When you don't have the money in the budget, that's what you're going to have to do. We like to make the excuse, well, I owe this to myself. I really love doing this. Sometimes the answer is you've just got to, here you go. You ready for it? Self-discipline.
We need to get a little sing-song for that so we can say it every time we talk podcast.
Self-discipline. The key there is self-discipline. And, sometimes the answer is you just don't make enough money. So what do you do when you don't make enough money and you're spending too much? You get a second job, maybe.
Right. Well, we did talk about this specifically because when I was doing research on this, sometimes real things happen that change your income situation. You lose a job, your hours get cut back. Job changes really should affect your spending. And a lot of people just keep living the same lifestyle and they don't change their lifestyle when their income changes. So, you got to make that adjustment at some point or you're going to be living in a really debt-heavy situation.
Correct. We're really good at rewarding ourselves when we make more money.
Right.
The idea of cutting back if something should happen, we're not very good at.
Yeah.
We don't like to do that.
So second job, side hustle, whatever you want to call it. Or, another good one, consolidate your debt if that's a situation you get into.
Right.
Sometimes you got to look and see, how can I consolidate store card debt where I'm paying 20% down to some other sort of product that's a lot less, right?
Definitely. Yeah, and that always depends on where you are and what's going on in your life. But it's always an option. A lot of people don't think about that. That's something, obviously we talk about often here at the credit union. So, yeah.
I think we don't think about it because it's work. It takes time and effort to make changes.
Well, it goes back to you making the phone call. You said you're afraid to call AT&T, but it's not only just you're afraid to. It's going to be time consuming.
Right. It's never a 5-minute call.
Right. It's going to be time consuming. You got to put the time in, and you're like, I just don't feel like doing this right now. And it's the same with not just you calling AT&T. It's the same with all these. It's really about putting that time in because it's so much easier to go grab the fast food on the way home than it is to come home and make that sandwich, right?
Yeah. So Jamie, what's the real benefit to me if I find and identify some spending leaks and cut back?
The real benefit is you're going to have a lot less stress in your life. You're not going to be having that.
I'm not going to be every Monday going, where's my
money? Right. The frustration that happens with that, not only that, you feel defeated. When you have a little extra money in the bank, you actually feel really good about yourself. When you don't, you sort of feel, sort of wears on you, wears you down, makes you feel a little defeated. It's really about creating that positive energy, and you have that savings account there. It's there in case something should happen. There's nothing wrong with spending money, but as long as we're spending within our budget and we know where our money's going.
So if you like what you heard here today, I want you to get online and check out our website, fcfcu.com/financial education. Whether you just want to find out some more about some of the topics we talk about on a monthly basis, or you need some one-on-one help, Jamie and his team are great to either talk with you or set up an appointment for a one-on-one, or just, talk with you over
Do a
email.
little free financial counseling, see,
Yeah.
see what's going on, see how we can help you. Love to help people. That's what we do here. Yeah, love to.
So we really hope you're enjoying our podcast. This is only our second episode, and we'd love to get more likes and follows and people who are giving us feedback. So look for us, follow us, subscribe for free, not a subscription cost. And we're also new on Google Play this week and coming to iTunes soon. So we love you guys, and we're happy you're listening.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Carpe Diem is presented by Financial Center First Credit Union and produced by Jamie Davidson, Dusty Simmons, and Courtney Cooper. Financial Center, just so you know, it's a 6-time national award winner in the category of adult financial literacy, and our goal is to help you improve your financial life. To learn more, visit fcfcu.com.